Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Go over and get you a free audiobook 30-day free trial over at www.audibletrial.com/nerdcave. You can be picking up Timothy Zahn's new book, Thrawn. It's freaking awesome. Or you can get Ahsoka. You can get all these Star Wars books because everybody loves Star Wars. If you don't love Star Wars, what are you doing with your life? There's over 180,000 titles, though, to choose from. You can get it on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle. And if you have an MP3 player and what are you doing with your life, you can get that there as well. So go over to audibletrial.com/nerdcave and grab you one of those new books. Get smart. We read at the Nerd Cave. We read. Build it beautiful.
Let's close out with some game news. I know you've been really big into Pokemon Go since it started, and they did a pretty big update. So tell us about it.
They kind of revamped the gyms and everything like that. Me and Holly have been, hitting, and Jake and our friend Chris have been hitting it pretty hard. They kind of made it where gyms are also Pokestops now. You can spin them and get Pokeballs, revives, potions, everything. But there are events with it now. You can have, a Tyranitar, a Gyarados. There's tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is your easier one. Like I fought 2 Magikarps as an event boss. They're super easy, but you get different rewards for beating them. Like you can get a rare candy, which gives you a candy for any Pokemon that you need. So if you're one away on a Gyarados, you can use the rare candy and get a candy for said Gyarados. It's actually, I know, me being over the Pokemon Go Pensacola, it has completely and 100% revitalized our page because there was so much, people talking about wanting to have a place where we can communicate better. I went on Discord and created us our own server for Pokemon Go Pensacola, and that thing's just blowing up too. So it's very good to see everybody back into the community, going down to Palafox today. We're seeing people playing. We went to Milton's. More people are playing. And this is such a great game because you're being healthy, you're exercising, but you're also having fun with people. And when you get into an event, you have 180 seconds. And you get a code. It could be like 2 Blastoise and a Squirtle. Like you put that code in, and you group up with people there. I can't remember how many people are in a group, but you go and you attack that boss because tier 1 and 2 you can typically do by yourself, but your tier 3 and your tier 4s you need a lot of people. Because I tried taking on a Blastoise by myself. I had 6 Pokemon, 5 were electrics, and they had high CP. And I barely took his health down that much.
Wow.
So, Niantic, y'all are doing a great job with this update. Wished it would have came out sooner because I feel like with it being a year late, if you would have put it out way earlier, I think you would still be having ungodly success because that first little bit that it came out.
It was unreal.
Yeah. And if they would have stuck with it and kind of got these updates out sooner, excuse me, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
They would still be doing really good. But this is bringing some of the people who haven't played in a while back because it gives us bosses to play with. I know Marshall, got the game back, and he's talking about playing. Trying to talk some other people into getting back into the swing of things. The only thing is we got to get whoever hasn't played, we got to get them leveled up because you got to be 25 to participate in events. And
I'm definitely not at 25.
But with the lucky eggs, catching tons of Pidgeys, like there's ways you can work to level up super quick. We got Holly up from 22 to 23 today, so we just have 2 more levels, and she has 2 lucky eggs that we're going to pop sometime this week and get her up to 25 so we can have some more people doing events. And with the end of this, I say go Mystic. Represent.
I am Team Mystic as well.
I know.
No, I haven't downloaded the new update yet, but I'm excited to to try to get back into it.
Yeah.
That initial wave was one of the funnest video game experiences I've ever had, because people who weren't even gamers but grew up playing Pokemon, they would get the game and we would walk to lunch just so we could get
steps
in, hatch eggs, find Pokemon, all that stuff.
And I mean, I've made friends through this game. Obviously, Holly and I met through this game. And I mean, she wrote Niantic an email about our story and how we met and everything. And then they were like, they emailed back to her and saying, "That's awesome. I'm glad that this happened." He's like, "I'm sharing your story with our people."
Nice.
So I mean, it's really cool. Great game. It seems like great people behind it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Legendaries will be coming soon.
I can't wait.
Too.
Now that my friend will get me back into it.
I about to say you might be needing to level up, my friend.
Yeah. Last bit of news for this week. This is from TheVerge.com. Sega launches free retro game collection for iPhone and Android. Sega is bringing some of its best retro games to your smartphone. Today, the company announced a new service called Sega Forever, which is essentially a lineup of classic games from the company that will be available on both iOS and Android. Each game will be available for free. You can pay $1.99 to turn off ads, and will include modern features like cloud saves, Bluetooth control support, and online leaderboards. At launch, 5 Sega Genesis games will be available, including Sonic the Hedgehog,
I figured,
Comic Zone, Altered Beast, Kid Chameleon, and Phantasy Star 2. See, developer says that following the launch of the first 5 games, additional titles will be added to the collection every 2 weeks.
You gotta have Battletoads in it.
Yeah. I never played Battletoads.
It was fun. Very interesting. I got to play it when the Rare Replay came out.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting game style. And I love these, Sega coming back and bringing in some of the big games of the 90s. And
yeah. I mean, the way I look at it, it's free.
Yeah.
So you really have no excuse to not do it. I mean, I'll download the original Sonic.
Yeah, I'll see what games they have because I loved my Sega.
Yeah. Sega's... I mean, I was always a Nintendo kid, obviously, but I enjoyed Sega for what it was. I really loved the Sonic franchise.
After my Sega, because I had the OG Nintendo, I had the Nintendo 64, I had the NES, and sometime in between there, I got a Sega and played it, and that's went all the way up. I think I stopped at the Wii. I didn't get a Wii U.
A lot of people didn't.
Yeah. But, I've had PlayStations and everything, but I've always loved my Nintendo, but I've always loved Sega.
Yeah.
Except for Sonic. But, I'm just playing. I used to love playing Sonic. I just hate it when you use them.
My using him in Smash Brothers caused a group of people to despise Sonic.
Yeah. Douchebag.
Speaking of Sonic, time to move into Facebook questions. This question comes from our good friend, Mr. Adam Gumbert. 2 Sonic games this year. As a host of a retro podcast, does anyone really care? Why won't Sonic die? I feel like that's a little harsh.
Gumby is he's a harsh soul.
He is a cruel, cruel vixen.
Now, I'm excited for a Sonic game to come out. Yeah, I may hate going up against him in Smash, but the games have always been fun, super enjoyable. Not so much as they're puzzles, but they are just get the level done as fast as you can, try to get as many rings as you can, and kill and run into things. So fun. I'm kind of glad that they're bringing it back. I don't think Sonic will ever die because you'll be hard pressed to find people that don't know who that speedy little blue hedgehog is.
Yeah. Sonic will never die. Never
got
die.
That, Gumby?
But no, the 2 games that are coming out this year, I don't know if you know about them, but one is called Sonic Mania. That comes out, I think, in August. That's going to be going back to the old 2D style, like the Sega Genesis games. It actually has remakes of some of the old levels plus new ones. And you can play as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles.
I always liked the level that had the purple water that you had to keep going. And
Chemical Plant Zone, yep. That was from Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, that was the scary level.
Yeah.
I always had such anxiety when it
Yeah.
came to that level.
Especially when you hear that countdown when you're about to drown.
I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
That one comes out in August, and then we have Sonic Forces, which is it's a 3D game, but the newer 3D games have mixed in a little bit of the 2D gameplay style.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played Sonic Generations.
I didn't.
That had you would go back and play through old Sonic levels as far back as the original game up to some of the newer ones, and you would play as both modern and classic Sonic, whereas classic Sonic would be the classic 2D style and modern Sonic would be like the newer games.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Sonic Forces is going to be.
Okay.
So I'm excited for both. I'm a little more excited about Sonic Mania just because it's like the old games, but I'm going to get both.
Yeah.
I will probably get them both for the Switch if they're coming out for this. Well, I know Sonic Mania, I think, is. I don't know about Forces.
That'd be a good one to get it on.
Yeah. So, I don't know. He also says, would you buy these? I think I might.
Are they the Sonic shoes?
Oh, my God. I will get these.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're a Sonic fan, you're going to want them. They're the Sonic shoes.
Yeah. You can go on the Facebook page and look, but it's basically replica of Sonic shoes.
Ugh.
I would totally get these
yeah.
in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Funny story from when I was a kid. I had this pair of just plain white slip-on shoes. This was around the time Sonic 2 came out.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have shoes like Sonic, but obviously there were none to be found. So I took a red crayon and colored my shoes except for the white line. And my mom was very upset at me.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So I'll look those up. I'll definitely get those. Last question from Jeremy Henderson. A game development recently commented that the PS4 was similar to a 5-year-old PC and was holding the game industry back from breaking new and exciting ground. Microsoft just announced a more powerful Xbox, and Nintendo ditched the Wii U before the end of its cycle and brought forth the Switch a few years later. Console gamers typically adopt the format because it is simple and less expensive when compared to PC. Are older consoles close to the end of their life cycle holding games back? Should developers revisit the typical 5 to 7 year life of consoles? Now, Zach replied, when your console sells 60 million and you have a model that can run higher end, there really isn't a reason to end your console cycle from a business standpoint. Microsoft is trying to make up ground that they lost during the DMR and always online pre-launch days with the Xbox One X. It's $500 compared to the $400 PS4 Pro. Just my thoughts. Smiley face.
Now, I 100% agree with what Zach is saying. I am a Microsoft fanboy / apologist. So, PS4 was way ahead of its time when it came out. Like Zach said, it was able to run things much better, way better than the Xbox did. The Xbox had to put a new system out. Yeah, it's more powerful than the PlayStation. You know, I mean, the specs, don't lie. But Microsoft had to put that out because they were just getting demolished by Sony. So, I mean, I don't think the PlayStation is holding everything back. I think everybody is just catching up with Sony. Yeah, like I said, the system, the Xbox One X is better than the PlayStation, but it's still not like leaps and bounds that the PlayStation is now holding it back. I think Xbox just kind of leveled the playing field with it because PlayStation was just so far ahead when it came out. So I don't think they have to do anything.
I completely agree. You got to look at it from a business standpoint. The PS4 is still selling well. It's sold extremely well, and it's still a high-end system. Mm-hmm. So why not keep it going?
I agree.
The thing with Nintendo, they stopped producing the Wii U early to do the Switch, but that's because the Wii U was such a huge failure that they had to put out something new.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I think the Switch, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think the Switch has been generally well received and it's been doing well.
Now you look at obviously post 360 and PS3. PS4, like Zach has said, it sold, what was it, 60 million?
60 million, yes.
60 million systems. How many did the Wii U sell? Nah, they sold, but people were so disappointed.
It was, I remember the numbers were laughable.
Yeah. So why would PlayStation have to end its cycle? And there's really no comparison to the Wii U and the PS4, because the PS4 was well received, well ahead of its time, and the Wii U was just not good.
Yeah.
So I think that PS4 needs to ride what they've built, just kind of ride it out and see where it's going, because there's no need in ending a cycle. Everything's still playing the same. I think we're going to be, where we're at with Xbox One and the PS4 and the Switch. I think we can ride these for a few more years.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Just my thoughts.
Yeah. Well, that does it for questions. That does it for news. Is there anything you wanted to talk about before we call this an episode?
No, just one more time, we wanted to say congrats to Zach and Amy. Enjoy Vancouver. We love you guys and wish you the best.
Absolutely. You can check us out on social media. We're on Facebook at Nerd Cave Network. Also, our community page is at Nerd Cave. Just search for Nerd Cave in that little bar you see on the top of your Facebook page. We have all kinds of cool conversations that go on throughout the week. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Nerd Cave Vids. You can check out all of our other podcasts we have here on the Nerd Cave Network. We have Nerd Cave Retro on Mondays, the Derek Diamond Experience on Tuesdays, Fantasy Football Nerds on Wednesdays for during football season. Thursdays, we have our wrestling show, Battle of the Brands. Friday is this show, which you can get early on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdcave.
Yeah.
You can check out all our cool tiers. You get access to exclusive episodes that we do monthly, early access to this show, and many other great rewards. So just go to patreon.com/nerdcave.
And wherever you're listening to this, whether it's podcast or YouTube, if you're doing a podcast, please go and leave us a review. I mean, that goes a long way in helping us reach other people who, might be interested in what we're talking about. If you're, watching this on YouTube, hit the like, comment, interact with us, because we love talking to you guys. And while you're at it, share it, because you don't know, who on your friends list might enjoy this also. So, just trying to get the word out, because we like, meeting new people. We like talking to you about, all of nerd culture. So, just like I said, hit that like, subscribe, and, leave us a review.
And all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else, sir?
I am done.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another fantastic episode of the Nerd Cave Podcast. This has been Derek.
And Robbie.
Have a week.